Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Today is November 19th. It's 6 o'clock. We're located here at the Addison Township offices at 1440 Rochester Road. If we could all stand for the pledge. And Chuck, you're a veteran. Could you start, please?
Yeah. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we please stand just for a minute?
Thank you, Lord, for this great day. Help give this board wisdom and help our residents to prosper. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, we'll do roll call, and I'll call the roll call. Eric Sent?
Here.
Trustee Garrett?
Here.
Joel King?
Here.
Let me see, Treasurer Fisher?
Here.
Trustee Newby?
Here.
And Bruce Pearson, here. And Pauline Bennett is on vacation. Okay, announcements. As usual, there probably aren't any. We'll move on to petitions. Probably no petitions. Department reports, as usual, they're available in my office, or you can get a hold of my deputy supervisor and make those available to you. And we're on to order of business, which is the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. I'll do the roll call on that. Trustee Sent?
Yes.
Trustee Garrett?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yeah, aye.
And Trustee Newby?
Yes.
Treasurer Fisher?
Yes.
And Supervisor Pearson, yes. Okay. Consent agenda, we'll go under the consent agenda. There's 3 items on it. The October 15th, 2008 and October 24th, 2008 minutes. 18, yep, thank you very much. Bills as paid for October 2018. And we have Park Ranger 2 appointments, Chuck Menninger and Reuben Flatt for 3-year terms till 10/31 of #21.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a second?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Not hearing any? We'll have roll call again. Okay, this time we'll go Supervisor Pearson. Yes. Then we'll go Treasurer Fisher.
Yes.
Okay, Trustee Newby.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Aye.
And Trustee Garrick.
Yes.
And Trustee Sent.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 2, public hearing and resolution for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. This is the public hearing and for the resolution for the Community Block Grant, CDBG money. This is a public hearing. This is where we listen. We don't say anything. This is where the public can tell us anything they'd like us to hear about where the funds should go for the Community Block Grant money. And we do listen to the input. At this time, I'd like to open up the hearing at, we'll call it 6:05. If anybody would like to speak on behalf of the public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant money, please come forward and tell us if you have any ideas where you'd like it spent. Yes?
I know you don't answer questions in public forum, but could you be so kind as to tell me what this item is?
Well, the government, usually I don't answer, but
I don't.
Really I'm not supposed to answer. The Community Block Grant, where by law we're supposed to open it up to, we get a certain amount of money. It's about $8,000 from the federal government. It can only go to just a couple of places. And we have it set up to go $5,445 to mobile home repair and $3,000 to transportation services, which goes to the North Oakland Transportation Authority. But once again, I'll open up the hearing, and I'm not supposed to speak, but if anybody would like to speak, if they have any other ideas or whatever, please come forward.
Thank you.
Is anybody else would like to speak?
So are we gonna reopen the public hearing based on that clarification not being heard of?
That's not part of it, no. So I'm opening up the public hearing again, okay? Anybody would like to speak, go right ahead. Okay, if not hearing anybody, we'll close the meeting then at, we'll call it 6:07. Any comments from the board? But, anybody like to move the resolution?
I'll move the resolution adopting the program and participation in CDBG program for 2019.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call the roll again. Erickson,
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Joe King,
Aye.
Jacob Newby,
Aye.
Treasurer Fisher,
Yes.
and Supervisor Pearson, yes. Okay, the resolution is so moved. Okay, now we'll go on to item number 3. Item number 3 has to do with the snow plowing service agreement. As you know, Calvin Sutherby does the snow plowing. He called me up and advised that there's been a horrific increase in the price of salt, and there's no way that he can cover that. I did make some phone calls, and in fact, the price of salt has doubled in just the last few weeks, and he wanted us to be aware of that. If you notice in your packet, he is asking for an increase of, well, I'll tell you, salt went from like $70 a ton to $140 a ton overnight. And I did make some phone calls, and even the municipalities are having difficulty even getting it, if they can get it at all. We discussed other things like sand or whatever, but that won't work. It just plugs up the drains and everything. So what Calvin is asking, if you see in the amendment, is when the parking lot is salted, only when it's salted, there'd be a $45 increase. And there's also a $20 per application for the new sidewalk area out here. Other than that, you know, he does say he regrets to have to do that, but I do understand there's no way that he can afford to pick up that cost. So does anybody have any discussion on that?
I had to do the contracting for our private road and also for our parking lot at our business, and I've had the same thing happen.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? What I'd like to see in the motion is that if we approve the request, I'd like it just to last for the remaining term of this agreement. And if the salt does go back down, I'd like the fees to revert back to the original quote if I hear that the price of salt is going back down. But as of right now, I did talk to the salt distributors, and it doesn't look like it's going back down. But I'd like it to at least reflect that in the motion.
Okay, I'll make that motion. We approve the contract with the
The $45 increase
$45
for
increase, right?
application of salting, and the $20 for the extra sidewalk out here. That
Correct.
was just put in. And
The duration of this contract.
the fees would revert back to the original quote if the prices go back down.
Agreed.
Okay. I think we got that.
Thank you. Yeah, team effort.
Okay, we have a
I'll
second?
support.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, we'll have roll call on that. Treasurer Fisher,
Yes.
Trustee Newby, Trustee King,
Aye.
Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Sant,
Yes.
and Supervisor Pearson, yes. That motion passes. Okay. Where are we at now?
Can I ask a question? Eric and Lori modified the motion to say contingent on the price of the salt. What if it goes up again?
And he'll have to come back and see us
Come
again.
back?
Yep,
Okay,
he'll have to come, this is his request.
okay.
Okay. Looks like it's time for public forum. If anybody has anything they'd like to bring up, this is where we listen, we don't talk back. This is the time that you get to yell at us or tell us what you want or whatever. So if you have something, just please come up to the podium and speak. And just tell us your name.
I'm Phyllis Rowe, and I live in Addison Township. And I would just like to have the public beach brought back up for consideration again, as it seemed like we didn't find out about this until it was like too short of a notice. And I would just like to see it brought back up again to see if this would go. Okay?
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak? Yes?
Kurt Sucky, Addison Township. I read in the paper you were going to make some comments about the EPA permit. Are you going to do that yet?
That'll be in my supervisor's report.
Okay, now,
Okay. Anybody else have? Yes.
I'll make it short. I think it's a good idea to go back to the beach. The reason will be, right now, maybe 10% of the population is getting to be able to use the lake. Now it would be opened up to the Addison Township in itself. Also, it'd be a good place to store all of the equipment, all the weed cutters and everything, and take that burden off of everybody's shoulders. I agree with Phyllis. I think it would be a great idea to bring it back up again.
Thank you.
Pardon me?
Yes, if somebody'd like to speak, please.
Good evening, my name's Michael Pardenoff. I do live on the lake. And I just want everybody that's requesting for the beach to understand something. First of all, if you live on the lake and you bought a house on the lake, and this is something that you dreamed of all your life, and you worked real hard for it, and it's beautiful where you live and everything's pristine, and then someone came up to you, I'm asking this to anybody who owns land and property. How would you feel if somebody put an amusement park next to your house?
Can I answer that real quick?
Or a beach next to your house? Or anything next to your land that would devalue your house that you worked so hard for all these years and establish a beautiful environment that you want to live into in retirement? Okay? And I just want to say that if you guys are going to bring it up again at some point, you got to consider the people that live next to it. It's just not fair to them if all the people in the township comes in and says, yeah, we want a beach, and it happens to be next to your house, and your viewer affects, you know, your environment around you. You know, and I can go on and on what I think would affect it. And I know you guys want to go into kind of detail. I want everybody to think about that. That's not fair to the people that live next to it or across from it, or has to make special, devalues your house, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I follow up real quick?
Go right ahead.
Make it short. To make it real quick, for those people that don't know, I live right next to this community thing. They call it Pollyant Trail. Runs right down beside my property. I've been in the same boat you were. It's going to devalue my property. How would you like to have property there and people are going to be using it? I thought it like everything. Now I was on the Pollyant Trail board and supporting it. I think to the community as a whole, as well, Pollyant Trail, and I think it's going to do good with this one too. But I've been there, I know about Pollyant, I was there, and when they started putting it
That
in.
was public railroad track. That was no different.
And the lake is also public.
It's not public.
Yes, it is public.
Unless you have a boat, use access.
If anybody has something to say, please come forward. We'd like to hear.
Hi, my name is Laura Macascio. I live in the neighborhood across from the lake. We've lived here for about 12 years. We love the lake. It's a beautiful lake. We're fortunate to know some people that live on the lake, and so we are able to go to our friend's house. But it's only at those times. It is a public beach, but if you don't, or a public lake, if you have a boat, you can go on it. Anybody that has a boat can go on that, whether you're a resident or not. So I don't think that necessarily you're gonna be, all these people are gonna come driving out in swarms to come to Lakeville Beach. I think it's gonna be those same people that live around here. And personally, I find most of the people that live around here to be very pleasant, very respectful people. I will say that there's a growing number of kids and families in this area, and I think it's because this is a great place to raise a family. I mean, I didn't grow up around here, but I would say hands down, this is the kind of environment I would want a child raised in. But there's not a whole lot to do around here for a kid. The library, I think there's been a huge growth in the number of programs. There have been a lot of kids that do take advantage of the trails. A lot of kids that have been doing things with the, coming to the Strawberry Festival, and there are so many kids at that school. This is something that would definitely benefit them. We had some kickball games this summer, and parents of those kids, we talked about like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if there were some more things out here on the beach, was something that did come up time and time again. I don't think, I understand if you wanted to be something that only Township residents, could use, or you had to pay a fee. I would happily pay more money to have a public beach. I think this is something a lot of people want, maybe not necessarily here, that are telling you. I think a lot of people still aren't aware of the situation, but it is definitely wanted by the families around here.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'd like to say one other thing too. I agree with some of the things she says. I have children, they're grown up now. But there's also Addison Oaks Park. There's the other park that you have for the kids. Yeah, there might not be no swimming, but instead of having a beach and on the park, why don't we look at a facility that has a swimming pool or something where you have, a gym for the older people, or for, instead of us going to Oxford or to different Romeo or whatever. If we're gonna spend this kind of money, why don't we have something that's open up year-round too, I mean, it'd be great to have your kids go to a swimming pool. It'd be nice to have something they could do during the winter if older people wanted to work out like myself, where it's right around the corner and it's opened up year-round. I mean, that's a better option than spending all this money on a beach that is gonna cause a lot of turmoil and stuff, believe me, If you live on the lake, you understand there's more to it than just having a beautiful beach where everybody can go swimming. There's a lot of other things that go along with it. So, if we're gonna pursue something like that, I just think it'd be a better idea that it can include everybody, just not a beach where people can use for 3 months a year, just strictly for people who wanna sit and get a suntan and go swimming, but actually a facility that would go ahead and, give the whole town, our whole township something to do all year round. Old people could go swimming in the pool, the younger people could work out at the gym, and you could do it year round.
Thank you.
That's a better option.
Anybody else? Yes.
I agree. I think it'd be great to have something year-round. I actually was under the assumption that this would be something like a community center at the beach, or maybe that's something that could be brought into the idea. If there was a building that could be used year-round, there absolutely could be things that lots of people have done. I thought that was something that in the past, there was a community center and beach around here. So I think that, I'm not sure why that left, and obviously because there are people that live on the lake and they have opinions about it, I'm sure, but I would think that there are a lot of laws and rules that could be put in place to make sure that the property owners are not suffering from what happens there.
Thank you. Anyone else?
We also can do ice skating. I mean, if you say year-round, we can, when the lake freezes, we can all still go out there and go ice skating.
We have public access.
Excuse me?
Anything else? Oh, direct them to me, though. Anything else? Okay, yes, go right ahead.
A couple things I've heard that I would just like to reemphasize. I understand there's both sides, the area in the middle, but certainly I would think if it's going to be a public use, it needs to be Addison Township public use. And I would hope that it would include the appropriate safety studies, because some folks do have safety concerns that need to be addressed prior to proceeding, as well as we also need to address environmental concerns prior to proceeding. And we need those assurances.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public hearing then. Okay. Any Addison Township Board reports? Anybody go to any meetings that you'd like to tell us about? Nothing?
I do actually. So the No Haz program is a recycling a program where Addison Township residents can come to one of the No Haz events, dispose of the hazardous waste they have. If they have environmental concerns with things like paint or batteries or prescription drugs, and we've been doing it for a few years and participating in the program. And if more Addison residents got involved, that'd be a really good thing, I think.
Okay. Nobody else? Legal reports, don't have any. Communications, we don't have any. Pauline said don't call her. She's on vacation. No communications.
Council communication.
So, supervisor's report. This will only take about an hour and a half or two. Just to let you know, we did get the new contract from the sheriff's office, and it's very favorable. It's only a 0.49% increase for 2019, a 2.92% increase for 2020, and a 2.92 increase for 2021. And the reason being is that apparently they were able to save a lot of money at the sheriff's office, so they put that back into the pool so that we're not going to have that big of an increase, which helps our budget, which is very good for us. Our insurance company, I did get some quotes from them. It looks like our insurance is going to go up a little bit. Approximately for our renewal is $56,000 for the year. That covers all of the property and all of the liability and everything in the township. But we've done a pretty darn good job, and we're going to receive a distribution check of $42,678 back. So we're insuring the whole township for about $14,000, which is unheard of. We did do that. We did it better, I think, about probably 8 years ago. We insured the whole township for $3,000 because we did a good job. But because our finances and everything are in order, there's a whole formula, and we get a residual check back, a distribution that shows what we have. A lot of people pay more than that on their house, okay? But that covers our fire department, everything. Good news is Energex Petroleum, I did receive a letter from the EPA stating that Energex has withdrawn their application for the gas injection, which is out there at Leonard Road and DeQuinder Road where they meet there. That's good news for us. As you know, the township has been fighting that for a long, long time. We were always at the mercy of the EPA out of Chicago, but I did receive a letter from Chicago saying that as of this time, that's a dead issue. So we're very happy to hear that. And then that was in the newspaper this week. I did share that letter with the newspaper so that everybody would see it. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say except everybody have a nice Thanksgiving, and I'm open to...
Bruce, can I comment on that?
Yes.
In June of this year, the state of Michigan changed the rules and they now have primacy, which means they do not need the EPA anymore to approve permits for underground injection wells. So I hate being a pessimist, but I think they did that on purpose, and then they're going to reapply directly to Michigan.
Well, we'll be there.
What I don't know is if that means they still have to have this comment period, or if that was only an EPA thing. This I'm not sure.
Well, we'll be there. I'm envisioning that they're going to come back, but I did hear too that I met with one of the state representatives. I had a meeting here a few weeks ago about all of the uncapped wells that we have, and I see that some of those are starting to be addressed now. I think the fire chief said that there was a meeting already up across from the gas plant where they might start capping some of these wells. And as you know, it costs about $80,000 per well to cap these wells because they pour cement into them and everything. And we had a long discussion that the DNR has been a miss on this because we have thousands of these wells and there's no money in the state budget to cap them. And these companies are supposed to be capping them. So we're holding their feet to the fire, and we brought that up so that that's a bone of contention now too. So I'd rather deal with the state than I would some people in Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I don't know, it's not that nice of a place, but I'll go back again. But other than that, the DNR, I think at least we have our representatives and our senator that we can rely on when it comes to the DNR. So we're happy about this decision so far. Other than that, a motion for adjournment, anybody?
I'll make it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Next meeting, December 17th. Thank you very much for all coming.